Thank you, Rita. Coming up on tonight's South Today. Reasons for the delay, also in tonight's programme. Hello, very good evening from me, Jo Kent, and the South Today team. The Prime Minister has denied that plans to open the Portland accommodation barge are in disarray after further delays in signing off final checks with the vessel. The first asylum seekers were originally expected in the first half of this week. Now they're unlikely to arrive before Monday. One local MP is among those still seeking assurances about safety concerns, prompting ministers to dismiss suggestions the vessel is a death trap. Well, our reporter Matt Treacy joins me in the studio now for more on this. Matt, this is starting to get protracted, isn't it?
Well, there's been a few unexpected issues. A Home Office source told the BBC that the Bibby Stockholm in Portland Port was supposed to start taking asylum arrivals yesterday, but there was a fire door that was on the wrong way round. So it was then thought that some would arrive today.
But, Matt, concerns have been raised long before this week, haven't they?
That's right, yeah. I mean, the Conservative MP, Chris Loder, for example, he wrote to the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, about over a fortnight ago, questioning whether the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency had done any risk assessments of the vessel. He confirmed today that he still hasn't had a reply to that letter. Critics of the whole scheme, of course, say it's the wrong plan in the wrong place. Officially, the Home Office saying that they're still undergoing final preparations and that they're waiting for the first asylum seekers to arrive in the coming weeks.
Matt, thank you very much. And of course, we'll continue to follow all the developments on that story. Now, everyone's talking about it, the weather, of course, and we've just had one of the wettest Julys on record. And with not one but two yellow warnings in force today, August isn't off to a great start either. There were separate alerts for winds along the south coast and for the risk of thunderstorms inland. Disruption has been fairly limited, but it's hard to believe it's meant to be summer. Peter Cook reports.
Testing conditions.
Of course, we'll have the forecast later in the programme. Now, in a sign of further difficulties facing the football club, the owners of Reading FC have revealed they're looking for new investors. Last week, the club was put under a transfer embargo because of unpaid taxes. The new season in League One following relegation is only 3 days away now. Well, let's get more. Joe Campbell is outside the club's stadium for us tonight. Joe, what have the owners said? Well, who might be interested in investing in the Royals? Well, meanwhile, environmental campaigners have issued a legal challenge to Oxford United's proposed new stadium. The club wants... Now, patience is a virtue. Do remember that next time you end up behind a bin lorry. Have a look at this wave. Scientists have received the first test pictures from a new space telescope designed in part by a professor from the University of Portsmouth. Now, campaigners are racing against time to try to save a 1960s Portsmouth landmark. The news centre was for many years the home of the city's newspaper. Now it's set to make way for a new electric bus depot, and council officers have to decide by tonight whether to allow the building to be demolished. But campaigners argue it's an important example of 20th century architecture, and they've made an emergency application for it to be listed, as James Ingham reports. You're watching South Today. Do stay with us. Plenty more to come, including getting a bird. Now, the search is on to find the best young driver in Europe. A fiendish series of skills tests took place in the rain today at Thruxton Circuit near Andover to pick the competitors who'll be representing the UK. Our transport correspondent Paul Clifton went along to watch. Now, Windsor Castle, a landmark that's instantly recognisable to people from all over the world. And from tomorrow, visitors will get the chance for a rare bird's-eye view of the famous royal residence. The Round Tower opens to the public for the first time since lockdown, if you're willing to take a steep climb. The BBC's royal correspondent Daniela Ralph was up for the challenge. Yeah, unique experience. Now, you may remember last week we were telling you about John Willis, a man born without fully formed arms and legs who was kayaking down the River Thames. Now, that's no easy feat for anyone, as it's a 108-mile-long journey. Well, John wants to promote inclusion in sport and successfully crossed the finish line at the weekend. I spoke to him earlier on to find out how he was looking back on the adventure. 108 miles, and now you've inspired other people to do 108 things for charity, haven't you?
Well, it's all
Next challenge for you then.
Well,
Us again, and thank you very much for your time today. Yeah, great to speak to John. Well, staying with sport, and pool swimmer Alice Tai reclaimed her world title last night as she won gold in the women's 100. New art exhibition has opened its doors in Worthing this week. It features exquisite work, fine detail and splashes of vibrant colour. What's more, all of the art has been created by people living with or impacted by Parkinson's. So they've called it Me and Mr. P to showcase the brilliance of those living with the condition and an overriding message of don't write us off, as Edward Salt reports. Just brilliant. Lovely to see such colourful creations on such an awful day, Alexis.
Indeed, yes.
Have you got any sunshine?
I have got some on the card. Let's take a look at your weather pictures. Nick Keeley.
Alexis, I like the look of next Wednesday.
Yes, indeed.
That's all from us this evening. Thanks for your company. David Allard will have your late news tonight at 10:30. But from us, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Good night.